Hi there, welcome back. In this video we're going to use these three lovely mica powders on a couple of moulds, and this is one of those moulds. Now this is a new one. You'd have seen it in our previous Temu haul, not a sponsored video. That was the other one as well that we got. Now this mould, it's got beautiful detailing around the outside. Now I tried making my mind up as to which mica powder we were going to use, but made a decision, turned the mould inside out, and then decided to use this beautiful pink. It's called Bubble Bath Pink, and I'm just going to use the tried and tested method that we always do when we're going to brush mica powder onto the moulds, and that's just using a dry bristled paintbrush. Now obviously I didn't do it this quickly. This little bit of clip's been sped up just so that you're not watching 10 minutes of me applying mica powders. But yes, so we're just merrily putting the powder onto the mould here. I really love this colour. It was my favourite. Hopefully you've seen our previous video to this done a couple of days ago where we did the 3 miniature pots, and we did one of them in this same colour. They're beautiful pots. Check out our playlist for a list of all the videos we've done, including our shopping Temu hauls, whether they're sponsored or not. Now, spoiler alert, what I'm currently doing for future projects using this mould, I won't do. I'm not going to brush the mica powder over the unpatterned or undetailed part of this mould. There we go. So I'm just going to turn it back inside out, and you'll see why when we do the demold. It's lovely. It doesn't detract from it at all in its end piece, or you know, the end piece of the project, but yeah, it's just something to remember for the future. So that's the first one. Now we've got a bit of leftover resin from a previous video, which you can see still curing in the top part of the video, and top part of the screen. Try and ignore that one. I did do these two sets of 2 videos at the same time. Now I've just topped it up with a bit more resin. The resin that we use is T-Expert resin. It's a 1:1 mixing ratio. Obviously don't stir it as fast as this. Do stir it, take your time. But you know, certain bits of this video have been sped up because you don't need to sit and watch me stir something in for a couple of minutes. There we go. So just cleaning the stick off there, and then very carefully going to start pouring. Now I'm pouring from a height, and that is to try and make sure that I'm not introducing any more bubbles into the resin. Now you can see from where it's changed colour, the mould's changed colour, that the resin is going down right up to the edges. Now I didn't quite have enough resin mixed up in that colour, so I've just made up some more. I'm just going around the edges there with my hand, my gloved hands, just giving a little bit of a squidge, trying to encourage all those air bubbles to come up to the surface, to disperse. There you go, look, bit of a squidge and squish. There we go. And that is, as I said, just literally just to make sure that we've got all the resin down to every little bit of the mould there. Now, this is the second one. It's different. We're going to use these 2 mica powders in this one. Just want to see how they come out. See if we can get a bit of maybe shading going on. And again, just turned it inside out there. Same process as we did for the pink one. We are applying that beautiful warm gold colour. These mica powders we're using are by Arteza. It's just because that's one of the brands that we've got and that we like using. You can of course use any brand you want to, any colour combination you want to, or not bother putting mica powder on them at all and just pour resin in. It's totally up to you. But everything we do use in this video will be linked in the description box down below. So almost done with this one. I did exactly the same thing as I did with the first one. I covered all of the mould with mica powder. There we go, including that part. Now this is the part that in future I won't be putting mica powder on, but the reason for that will become clear at the end when we do the demold. Excuse me. Right, almost there. Make sure you do tap off the excess of mica powder before you do turn it inside back round the right way, inside out, back the right way. There we go, a little bit of a tap, 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 tap. I will just say, whilst the resin was curing, the moulds do hold their shape really well. Now, they're not very deep moulds. They don't take lots of resin, but you know. So I still had some clear resin left from where I had done the pink plate just before this one. So I took that resin, the rest of that resin, and added in a little bit of the gold. There we are. Now, I wish I'd stopped at this point, to be honest, and not bothered adding the white. But I did add a little bit of the white powder as well, which will happen any moment. There we go. I have added white to it. I have stirred it in, and it's given it this real sort of Aurora Borealis type of look to it, pearlized look. I love it. And there we go. As you can see, when it's pouring it in, it's very, very pale. Very pale. Pouring from a height again, trying not to introduce lots more bubbles. I'm just waiting for the resin to make its way down to the very bottom edges of the inside of the mould, but also giving it a little bit of a helping hand there. So you can probably, I don't know if you can see, it's not as easy to see actually on this mould, but the resin is making its way down the inside of it to the very edges of the mould. Just giving it a little bit of an extra helping hand there by doing a little bit of squishing and a bit of manipulation of the mould. You can probably see a few of the bubbles coming up there. Just pouring a little bit more in. Yeah. And then here's a little flyby, should we just say. That's the goldy coloured one. And there's the pink one. Now, I did spray these with some isopropyl alcohol, and I did babysit them. So every sort of 20 minutes, half an hour, go out and just check for air bubbles. Now, unfortunately, on this pink one, I didn't catch an air bubble in time, but it doesn't detract from the piece. It is just there. I'm just showing you now. But this is some about 20 hours later. Still a little bit soft, still a little bit pliable around the edges, but look at the detail. It's so easy to demold this. So easy to demold. But look at that. Now, that's on the outside of the plate, and I was really hoping that would be the same level of detail on the inside. Spoiler alert, it isn't, but it is gorgeous. I will go along with the tool that we've got just to take off the sharp edge. Now, can you see what I mean? From this way around, you cannot see any of that ribbed detailing on the edges of the petal part of this mould, the outer part of the plate, which is a shame. And the only reason for that, I think, is because I've put mica powder in it. So I think maybe not brush the mould next time with the mica powder, maybe just use a coloured resin. So use the mica powder, a little bit of the mica powder to colour the resin, and just pour it straight in. But that's the pink one. And look, these are the 3 little miniature pots from the previous video a couple of days ago. They are stunning. They would look lovely on that plate. And here we go. This is the goldy coloured one. Just trying to release the top bit of the mould. It's not, I'm, for some reason, was having an issue trying to do this. Wasn't my day. But eventually we do get into it. I do use a little pokey stick, as I call it. But it's basically a micro brush without the brush bit on the end. Once you break the seal of the mould to the resin itself, to the cured resin, you'll get in there, and, you know, it's as easy as that. And look at that detail again. I don't know, I really do love the effect of the brushed mica powder on it. It's gorgeous. But note to self, I think in future probably just use clear resin. I might have one more go where I brush the mica powder on the mould, but not in the centre part there. Definitely not in that part. And then see how it takes. Does it take as well to it or not? Does it show the detail we want or not? Now, as these are still a little bit pliable, because I haven't left it a full day for curing, you could also just bend the edges up slightly and like I'm doing there, you could bend them up slightly. Obviously you then got to secure them with that. You could secure it with some tape. I mean, that's quite a nice adaptation you could do to it. You could, of course, push it down into a bowl, but you're going to have the right shape of bowl to be able to do that. You could drill a hole through the centre of these and make them into a afternoon tea cake or cake display stand. They would look lovely like that. And again, you could just use them to display some lovely little pots that you've got, like the ones here that we have. But, you know, it's totally up to you what you do, how you adapt these. But there's the two plates together. I think they look absolutely gorgeous. I do love the colours, and a great addition, I think, to anybody's interior, whether you decide to use them to eat off of. If you're going to eat off of these, maybe with some cake or something like that, that's fine, as long as you use food grade safe resin. But I wouldn't eat a full dinner off of them. So here's the underside detail of the gold one, and here's the underside detail of the pink one, and then we're going to see them the right way round. Here we go. You see, you just lose that tiny bit of detail with them. But I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You really help us by doing that. Hit the notification bell, and we'll see you again in a couple of days. Bye bye.